Hey guys, I'm Joe with Moto Strano, and I'm sitting here with Frank
Hi.
from Germany, Frank Schultz. And if you've been tracking us on our Instagram or our Facebook page, you might have seen that Frank has been pedaling a lot lately, and he's been touring around on his high bike Fat 6
Yeah.
X Duro, um, putting in a lot of miles. The first stretch of your trip, I think you started at out on Highway 1,
Yeah.
basically,
Yeah.
riding up Highway 1 about 20 miles, and then you headed west and did what?
Yeah. First, we did the first miles together,
Mm-hmm.
and then I put on all my additional camping gear. So bike was pretty heavy, but the fat tire bike, the Fat 6, works pretty well for this.
So this was a bike camping trek or tour,
Mm.
and it was totally self-contained on your bike.
Yep.
You rode your e-bike during the day on roads, I'm guessing, and your direction was essentially the San Francisco Bay Area up all the way to Tahoe,
Yeah.
right? And how many days did it take to complete it?
So it took me 4 days to Lake Tahoe, 300 miles to Lake Tahoe. So the first day I made more than 120 miles. Was getting pretty late, but the weather was nice. The roads were pretty good to ride. Traffic was not too bad, and I didn't use a lot of battery.
Yeah, I mean, when I told people what you're doing, they basically said this guy's nuts. But the way you ride your high bike, you keep the power level way down. You use the nylon for your navigation,
Yeah.
which worked just great in the U.S. I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's working pretty well because I got all the maps, and I planned my route in advance and put it to the nylon. So I just followed the route.
And so you pedaled and you spent a couple of nights getting there. Essentially, I think the first night you camped somewhere out in the Delta. That looked pretty cool.
Yeah, somewhere I set up the tent in the dark.
And San Francisco was there, and the lights behind it looked
Mm.
like. Did you have a lot of wildlife come around at night?
No, this place, no.
Cool.
Yeah.
So what about charging? How many times did you have to charge your battery to get to Tahoe?
To Tahoe, I charged one battery a little bit on the second day, and then I used both batteries on the third day because I made maybe 10,000 feet of ascent in more than maybe 90 degrees. It was pretty hot and was only uphill, 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 and no service, nothing at the road. And the first campground, I found another couple that were there with the bikes, and I shared a site with them, and I could charge the batteries at the next store there. The people were pretty friendly.
At the store?
Yeah, there was a store on the other side of the road, a tiny store, and I just asked, and so I could charge the batteries there.
Cool. So you waited an hour to get a couple extra bars?
No, I just left them overnight.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
right, okay, cool.
Mm.
So then you made your ways up to the Sierra,
Mm.
and it started to get colder, and then we met up with you in Tahoe.
Yeah.
It was great. We're driving in down from Truckee, cruising up to the meeting point for a meetup we were scheduled to do from Tahoe, and sure enough, there's Frankie pedaling along the side of the road, and we had a couple more miles to go, so we just met him over at the Hyatt where we did our meetup, and then you rode around Lake Tahoe with us,
Yeah.
right? Which was a blast. We rode from the North Shore down the South Shore. We did some backyard camping down at a fellow e-biker's pad up there. Had some food and charged up again. And then the next day we went the full 75 miles around the lake and did some swimming and good stuff like that. Had a really crappy hamburger halfway through. And then we drove and stuff and camped, and then we dropped you off at the top of the Tioga Pass at the gateway to Yosemite.
Yeah.
And then what?
Yeah, so from there it was almost 10,000 feet elevation, the Tioga Pass, and from there I just rode by myself to the Yosemite Valley. But it was already pretty late when you dropped me off, and there was no open campground because there was still snow and the roads were pretty bad and so no open campground. I just found a place where I could put my stuff, my food into a bear locker, and set up the tent somewhere beside the road.
And how was it riding on 120? Was it? Is that
Yeah,
what it is?
yeah.
How was it riding with the cars and stuff like that?
It was not too bad over there because
Just doing an interview here. If you want to talk to Louis in the back.
it was not too bad. There was not that much traffic, and
Mhm.
the people are kind of aware of bikers and bears. So
Bikers and bears, so
Yeah.
they're watching out for two wild beasts,
Yeah.
two kinds of wild animals.
Yeah,
And because we were coming down that way, and I just saw all kinds of RVs and everything. I was
yeah.
like,
Down in the Yosemite Valley, Yosemite Village, there were so many people. It was really packed, and so I was pretty happy that I was by bicycle, so I had no problems with finding any parking space or something. And
Mhm.
so I jumped into the river and then found a nice backpacker campground, which was only $6
Hmm.
and was still plenty of free sites, and stayed there for the afternoon and the night.
And how about charging down there in Yosemite?
I didn't charge.
Didn't charge.
No.
Could you have charged somewhere? Did you find a spot?
Maybe at the next campground, maybe.
Oh,
But
okay.
so I didn't use that much, and I didn't charge.
So, but you had two batteries with you, so you really didn't need it. You were
Hmm.
going downhill most of the way to
Yeah,
get
this
there.
was more down, and so the one night was getting late. I put some. Yeah, I was riding on eco to get some mileage, but yeah, I still saved a lot of battery.
Hmm.
And I just remember, when did I charge the next time? I don't know, somewhere.
Anyway, so then you left Yosemite and you took what route to get down to the
The
valley?
140,
140
yeah, to Mariposa.
to Mariposa. You saw some, and I guess coming into Tahoe, you also saw a lot of smoke from the fire that's going
Yeah,
on there.
it
now.
was totally hazy. You couldn't see much of
But
the.
your lungs were not affected by the air or anything because
Yeah.
you got your e-bike.
Yeah.
And then going down in, where you stayed somewhere like some kind of redneck trailer trash RV park. I
Yeah,
heard?
that was kind of funny. I somehow ran out of water almost and found this small trailer park, and they had an office and store, and so I just turned in asking for water, and they offered me to stay there for the night, just for free, because they had a new building with showers and restrooms, and they got water for free because they were rebuilding the well as it
Mhm.
was flooded 2 or 3 months ago.
Mhm. And did they have any crystal meth that offered you or anything like that?
No, but they're drinking a lot of alcohol and
A lot of beer
funny,
and Cheetos.
Yeah, funny people though.
Okay.
Yeah, and I could charge my battery again. I just had one battery, maybe 30% left, and so the other one was still full, so I
Mhm.
didn't need that much charge.
So you met some interesting tattooed people and charged the battery, had
Yeah.
some good health food,
Yeah.
and then you head out the next part of your adventure and made it down to the Bay Area. So it was about a week, over a week, right?
2 weeks in total.
2 weeks trip, and it's about 600, 700 miles,
800
800
something, yeah.
miles on your high bike, Fat 6, which is, when somebody comes in and says, "Oh, what's this fat tires for?" I say, "Well, it's for beach and snow."
Yeah.
And you used it to ride 800 miles on the road.
Yeah, I used it already 2 years ago when I did a trip across Eastern Europe,
Mhm.
where I rode mostly off-road, and the fat tires are really, really, really made for this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
interesting.
Uh,
Okay, it's really
Yeah.
made for the road.
Yeah, and funny was the last 2 days it was really hot, maybe 100 degrees or more, and I found a nice tiny campground and nobody was there,
Mhm.
and I just paid $15 and I found an outlet there and recharged my one battery that was
Yeah.
still half full, but as I had some more ascent in front of me for the next day, I was happy to have 2 full batteries, but I would have made this with one also.
Mm.
So if you are well trained, it's not that much harder. If the bike is heavy anyway with the camping gear,
Yeah.
and then you get some more pounds with the batteries and motor. So it's nice to have the extra assistance uphill if it's getting hot, especially. And if you can charge and use it as much as you want, that's really fun.
So, is any advice you can give for anybody kind of dreaming of this kind of adventure? I've talked to customers who buy bikes and they want to do this. I don't know if they end up. We sold a bike to a guy who wanted to ride across country on his high bike one year. He got as far as Pleasanton, I think, and gave up because he was out of shape and he wasn't ready for it. On the other hand, with the motor, you can go on and on and on and kind of just not get tired if you do it right, right?
Yeah, it's sometimes hard to find a space for setting up the tent. But if you find a place, you also really easy find a place to charge the battery. You just
you could
ask
have also
people.
checked into some hotels, but you just decided not to do that.
I didn't do
Yeah.
because I always had enough water. I had enough electricity, and so power left in the batteries, so that was no problem. But if you want to do this, you shouldn't just buy a cheap e-bike and cheap camping gear or whatever, because if you really heavy use this, then
The camping gear should be lightweight, ultralight, backpacking type stuff, not car camping stuff.
Yeah, right.
I know you brought a bunch of water, way more water than I would have expected, but I guess for this trip it made sense.
Yeah, I did not want to run out of water, so I rather like to have more water than necessary than running out of water.
And your basic food was peanut butter, right?
No, I sometimes bought some burritos or got some oatmeal and some bagels or whatever,
Gotcha.
or went to fast food.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, what's your next adventure after this?
I don't know. We'll see. Something next winter time. Somewhere in the
If
desert.
you come back around winter, maybe it's time to go down to Death Valley.
Yeah,
That would be the thing to do.
this is like so many things on my list.
Yeah.
Also down to LA, to Mexican border.
Okay, well, hasta la vista. If you want to find out more, you can post questions to the YouTube thing here. And that's it. Yeah, well, that's right. Yeah, so after 9,000 miles of no crashes, he crashes about 4 miles away from the store, hitting a garbage can in the bike lane.
Yeah.
Takes him out entirely. So, just
But
the way it goes.
this will heal.
You avoided bears and RVs and trucks and rocks and all kinds of glass and tires and flying burritos and
I had no breakdown, no flat tire as I'm running tubeless.
900 miles in a fat tire bike and no fat tire or flat tire. So check out also our Instagram and Facebook. He's emailed me a bunch of photos from his trip, and I'm posting up there. You can check that stuff out, and go to our meetup.com/ebiketreks for kind of how-tos and intro trips that we do and we're going to do for e-bike camping if you're interested. And as always, go to our website or call us or email us. All right, thanks.
Yeah.
Adios.
See you.